Hi guys, it's Martin from Flicking Feathers here today, and I'm tying a pro shrimp saltwater fly. So in the vise I've got a size 6 811S, and I'm just starting with some 6/0 tan uni thread. So run your thread along the shank to just behind the point of the hook, cut off your excess, and then you want to take some EP shrimp dub in tan, or whichever colour you choose for the fly, but tan's quite good. And you just take it out of the packet and pull the fibres through each other to align them. You can see I'm doing it like 2 or 3 times should be enough. And then once you've got your nice little bundle of dubbing stacked, with the fibres roughly in the same direction, offer it up to the hook and leave. This is the mouth parts, so just leave it about the length of the shank is plenty. Take 2 or 3 turns to hold it, and leave the butt ends. Then you want to grab some silly legs. I actually use a pad of silicone from a bass bug skirt or a bass jig skirt, and you just need a single strand. Which you can then offer up to the side. Again, you want I like to leave the legs just about the length of the whole fly, like from the hook eye to the end of the mouth parts. That's about right. So take a couple of turns and leave your leg down one side, sort of on top and to the side, and then fold it over and take a leg down the other side and hold it in tight with some nice wraps. And you can trim off the legs so that they're the same length. And fold over the butts of the dubbing and secure it. Just a couple of turns over there. Don't worry about the bump, this will all be covered up anyway. So now you've got the mouth parts and a couple of legs. The next thing is to add some antennae. So for that I'm using some crystal flash and golden olive. Or root beer. You could use pearl. If you were tying a white version you could use pearl. Whichever colour you like really. Just fold it over the thread and tie it in along the top of the shank and over the top of the bundle of shrimp dub. Just use your finger and thumbnail to make sure everything's aligned, and then trim that off. I like to trim them like half again as long as the rubber legs. After that you want to tie in your rib, and for this I'm just using some 5-pound fluorocarbon. So cut off a good working length of fluorocarbon, and then get ready to tie it down. Because you're using fluorocarbon, or you could use nylon, because it's quite slick, I like to tie it down the length of the shank and then fold the tab back for security. So offer it in, and you can see that I've left the tab quite long, and I'm going to fold it back over the top so that can never pull out. And that's it, tied right back to the base of the mouth parts. So the next part's fairly simple. You just want to dub a sort of shaggy body using the EP shrimp dub in tan, same colour as the body. It's quite a good dubbing for any sort of crustacean, bonefish flies, these kind of things. It's got a very small amount of sparkle through it, which is nice. So get your dubbing started, and start it. You can see there I'm widening in front of the butts. I'm going to go back because you want the sort of thorax to be bigger now, which is at the back of the hook. The taper should be tapering down towards the eye on a shrimp that's facing this direction. And just keep tightening your dubbing up as you go. And don't be shy with it. And then just wind it forward in a sort of gradual taper. Just make sure any sort of is sitting the way you like. And you can see there's a lot of twisty that's really kind of main bulks at the bottom because that will be picked out for legs. And I'm just going to add a little bit more just to take the taper right down to the eye, to just behind the eye. And then just sweep everything back and take a couple of turns to hold it. Then I'm just going to throw a half hitch in just to secure the thread temporarily. Before the next step. So I'm just going to come in with some Velcro and just sort of rough it up a little bit. Especially in the hook gap side. You don't need to worry so much about the top of the shank because that's going to be covered with the shell back. And then I'm going to take this is a Pro Sportfisher Pro Shrimp Carapace. For this size it's extra small, but you know you can tie them bigger. You can see it's very natural looking, so I'm going to offer that in to the hook, and just at the junction of the head is where the first turn of rib is going to be, just to hold everything in place. You can see there the tail just sits over the eye. So I'm going to wind the rib tightly, okay? Just make sure everything's sitting right. And then as you go, be careful, try to not trap too many fibres up above. You can just sort of brush it down with your fingers as you wind the rib through. Now keep a lot of tension to create a nice segmented effect here. And then as you go, you can, and that's a bit wide. I'll go back. Go back there. That you want the segmentation nice and even, getting slightly narrower towards the head or towards the hook eye. And then once you get to your last turn, take it right down, just at the back of where the tail portion starts on the carapace. I then like to take one turn over and one turn under the carapace, and then do almost the same with the thread. One turn over, one turn in front, one turn over, a turn in front, a turn over. And then fold the fluorocarbon back and make sure it's tied down securely. See, that sort of lifts the tail a wee bit, so you can just flatten that. And then just come in with a whip finish. You can use your tool, I'm just tying it by hand for speed. And then come in, trim away the tag end of your thread, and then trim the tab of the fluorocarbon rib nice and tight. And that's the tie-in done. I'm just going to come back in with the Velcro again and sort of pull out any of the legs that I've trapped. You know, it makes make it nice and buggy, yeah. The dubbing underneath it just represents the legs on the body of the shrimp. You could add a hackle, but I've just chosen to use dubbing for this one. So basically that's it. All that's left now is to just make sure everything's aligned, and then come come in with a little bit of head cement just to seal off your thread wraps. And there you have it, the Pro shrimp using the Pro Sportfisher shrimp backs. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, or if you didn't, please leave a comment and like and subscribe. Thanks very much, guys. Bye.